Don't drop the damn landmines. I told you, shit. Oh my god.
Hey guys, this is MattiAce, and after playing H1Z1 for over 100 hours, I decided to come up with a few suggestions for what I would like to see implemented in the game, and hopefully you could add yours as well as provide your feedback to my suggestions. So for me, one of the biggest deciding factors in the game has been loot. What kind of loot you can find and how much of it there is. Now, one of the things that I would like to see more of is craftable items such as weapons and apparel based off of what you can loot from animals. What I think would be interesting would be if the hide and the pelt from, let's say, bears or wolves or deers, the animals that are already in the game, could be used to make new clothes or to improve things that we already have. Now, in terms of functionality, I think the clothes that you craft should be for damage resistance and also for more storage. And with storage, I mean more pockets just so that you can carry more bulk, and also weapon slots and tool slots. I also think it would be interesting if we could use, let's say, the claws and the teeth of bears. I'm not sure why I'm bringing up bears in this discussion so much, but there's just something about bears that just caught my attention for a while. And me personally, I hope there will be even more animals implemented in the game. Maybe cougars or lynx could be added for yet even more possibilities of pelt, claws and teeth craftables. And I think with a bigger map and more nature, I think it would be fun if there was a lot more to do out in the nature, because personally I'm a little bit bored with looking through houses and car wrecks, but that's just me. Now, I'm sure there's a lot of people that are looking forward to more military gear, such as regular firearms that you see in basically every game, and I have nothing against that. I'm looking forward to that as well, but I would like to focus my suggestions on something that is more, should I say, primitive, such as more bows and crossbows, which probably goes without saying, but also pneumatic weapons, more throwables, such as boomerangs, throwing knives, darts, bolas. And I think it would be especially interesting if these weapons were craftable and also upgradable. Just like in every game that has a shooter aspect in it, there is a lot of balance issues, and we have already seen some balance changes being made to some of the weapons. Now, of course, what could balance out the firepower of the weapons would be craftable armor. That way, for the people that feel that they want to take the time to hunt and craft in the nature before they go into town and get some PvP action, they have the possibility to do so. While the people that would rather just go in for the action right away, they probably have more action and more chances of coming out ahead, but they'll probably die more because they didn't want to take the time to craft the proper gear that would give them a little bit of an edge. Personally, I'm not all that interested in melee combat, but for those who are interested in that, I guess brass knuckles, gauntlets and swords could be implemented. And I'm sure there are people that would like to see chainsaws and flamethrowers as well. And I'm not going to go in too much into explosives because I know this is something that Daybreak are already working on, which probably could be said about a lot of my suggestions. But the thing about it is that the way I've been playing the game and the way I've enjoyed playing the game is that I have found it more interesting to build and craft stuff than to just destroy stuff. Because, I mean, destroying stuff, that's something you do in basically every game. But the building and the crafting aspect of a survival game is what I find is one of the things that I have found to be very interesting about H1Z1, and I'm really looking forward to more possibilities. Now, the base building part of the game was something that I was really interested in the first week or so, but since it was so hard to secure a base and keep it secure when you were not online, I kind of lost interest in it. And it is far too limited at this point in time. It would be really fun if we could add tree houses, for example, that you had to climb up to. But yeah, basically the reason why we lost interest in base building, me and the players that I play with, is because bases are just not secure enough to be worth the time it takes to build them. So now, just like with weapons and apparel, I would like to see more of the consumables to be craftable. But again, this is just personal preference. Now, all the structures and towns are remains from the civilization before the zombie apocalypse, and some of these structures, for example, are churches, there's one police station, and there's one fire station. So why not add some clothing that is associated to this? Whatever firefighters and police officers are wearing could be quite valuable apparel. And on the cosmetic side of things, how about being able to dress out like a priest? Or imagine watching some moron running around in a bride dress, chased by a couple of zombies. Not everything has to be functional. So now we already know that infections and diseases are going to be part of the game. I mean, basically the game is about that to begin with, so I guess that goes without saying. There are plenty of medicines in the game already, but most of them have no function yet. As far as I know, we're also going to be affected by weather. I think being cold and wet is going to have a massive impact on the game later on. I'm not sure if it's going to be any areas where it's going to be very hot, and that's going to be a factor. I guess if it's hot and sunny, that will weaken you in some way, especially if you're wearing heavy clothing. Then again, you might want to protect yourself from the UV light of the sun. Now, being a survival game, I guess the possibilities are endless. But then again, if you add too many of these functions into the game, then it might discourage a lot of players. I'm not really sure, but I've seen that there's a lot of players that are not at all interested in anything that has to do with crafting. Instead, they just want to run around and kill each others. And I think it's going to be, with a bigger map, this is going to be divided kind of naturally in a way that the PvP action shooter part is going to happen in the towns, just like it is right now, and the more crafting and the more base building stuff is going to be out in nature. And however you prefer to play the game is of course going to decide what parts of the map you're going to spend the majority of your playing time. A lot of people have been complaining about the fact that the only thing that is actually dangerous in the game are other players. Zombies are really no threat, and nor are any of the animals, well, except for one, I guess. But I think they already have planned on making the zombies a lot more dangerous. Maybe it's just that they're going to add more of them and that they're going to attack you in greater numbers. Now I'm really curious about what you have to say about my suggestions and what you would like to add to it or remove from it. Feel free to speak your mind. And that's going to be all for this video. Now I'm going to kick this bear's ass, and I will say thank you all for watching, and bye for now.